Welcome back to the hotspot. That was a tough one. That was a tough one to watch. That was a tough loss. And I'm going to go ahead and take the positives, though. Listen to me now. The defense is decimated. They gave up 48 points. And then when we did have an opportunity, they missed all of the opportunities. So to start the game, they gave up 2 running touchdowns at the beginning of the game. They was already down. They was already down dang near 14-0 before the first quarter was over. A quick score. We was down 14-0, fighting. That was a big score for 7 points. That was a big score. And the thing, you know what I'm saying? They still were in the game 14-7. Bang, Jared Goff again. 21, you know what I'm saying? They go up 21-17. We come back with another big score. This is the thing that hurt me so bad in the first half. This was the moment. This was probably the biggest moment, if you think about it, on why they lost. So the defense, they had already been getting torched, right? They come back, they hold on the 1. That was a big hold on the 1 yard line before the half. Because Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills were going in for another score before the end of the half. Before the end of going into halftime, going into the locker room. The defense stood up like they were supposed to. That was a pivotal red zone goal line stand. They pushed them back. Bass misses the field goal. We get it going. We moving. It's 3rd and 6? 3rd and 7? And Amon-Ra just drops it. That was so tough to watch for him because I know how hard he works on his craft. I know how he's thinking right now. Because I would be thinking it hit him on his fingertips. And when Jared Goff was walking off the field, he was upset because he knew that was their opportunity to tie the game going into the locker room. And then I said it last game, uncharacteristically, Jake Bates misses a 50-yard field goal. To bring it within 4 points. Going into the locker room. They come out of the locker room and give up a quick 7. Then they punt. And we still, after they come back in, we make another. The defense, they still trying to fight. And again, we get the ball back in an opportunity to where we can come within 1 score. Like 1 score. And he fumbled the ball again. He made a great catch on the ball, but he couldn't bring it into his body. And when he fell to the ground, it popped out before his knee hit. And instead of the Lions just running the play, because they was on the ball, and then the refs came in after. They showed it on the Jumbotron, I think, and they all watching it. Oh, boy, was going to throw the flag. Call come from upstairs. They didn't fumble. They get a quick score off of that. Another quick score. And at 8 minutes, I just was like, time. He running out of time. 17 points, down 3 scores. That's 8 minutes. The defense had to get a pick. And then when they did do the onside kick at 8 minutes, they let number 13 tip it to himself and run it down to the 5. I can't say nothing more. I can't say nothing more. Good play, young man. Good play, young man. I haven't seen that before. I've seen little kids do that before. You know what? I don't think I've seen it in college, but I sure ain't seen it in the pros in a long time, especially with them doing the new, kickoff rules and having to report the onside. Having to report that onside. That was so just a heads up play. And then, even through all of that, the Lions offense still looked good. They still looked good. I mean, Jared Goff, no interceptions. I mean, he hit St. Brown in the hands. And in a 2-minute warning, number 17 went up. Butterfingers. We needed that before the 2-minute warning. That was our one play before the 2-minute warning to justify the 3 timeouts. We ended the game with 2 timeouts. Why did we end the game with 2 timeouts? We ended the game with 2 timeouts because we expected to get our defense back on the field with enough time for us to call timeouts during the whatchamacallit and still be able to do the onside kick and everything. And if we didn't get it, we could still play it out. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I was absolutely wrong on my prediction. It was injuries on both sides, though. I mean, we lost on the Detroit side. 2 cornerbacks went out. We had one of our most important defensive linemen went out with an injury. That was the tail of the tape, in my opinion. Special teams and defense, and I spoke about that before. You want to force Josh Allen out of the pocket, but at the same time, you want him to be scrambling. You don't want him to just be like, la-di-da, I got plenty of field. Like, their misdirection wasn't as difficult, in my opinion, as it seemed against Detroit. The reason I think that Detroit's defensive line was getting fooled while the linebackers were getting fooled, like that second level, the reason that I think that that's the case is because there were so many new people, so much new personnel, so much turnover. The guys that studied for Josh Allen weren't playing. The backups were. But see, I can't say that because even though the Lions defense gave up 48, I mean, the Buffalo Bills gave up 45, like 42. That's 6 touchdowns. That's 6 touchdowns, no field goals. That's a lot of points on the other side to be a losing quarterback. So, you know what I'm saying? This just going back to the game, it was a shootout, but that's because both defenses, even with Buffalo's defense having, even though Buffalo had so many yards and everything, their defense gave up a lot too. I mean, Jared Goff threw for over 450 yards, third most in Detroit Lions history. If not even closer to second. I'm not sure exactly what second is, but I know right now with what he threw, with no interceptions, mind you. And if it wasn't for a couple of key plays on offense and on defense, a couple of those stops, a couple of those third down stops, like that lob over the head to the tight end and another lob over the head to the running back on a 3rd down and long or 4th and 6. Like those types of plays on defense, like where they need to create pressure or they need to create turnovers, it just wasn't there. And that's because our main guy is up in the scout box, up in the owner's box, watching the game. So I can say that about them too, because we did, like I said, we scored 42 points as well and came up a little short. But I do want to give ULB some credit. You're right. Get it out of the way early. I mean, I'd rather them give it up, give up a loss now to Buffalo in a game like this, in a back and forth, offensive game like this, instead of doing this last game of the season against Minnesota. Because that's who's looking. I mean, Minnesota's gonna play tonight. We're gonna see what they do. So we're praying that they go ahead and lose, so we'll keep our 1-game lead over them in the division. But then also, even with this loss and Philadelphia winning, we're still gonna have we still have control of the NFC because we have a better divisional record. So I'm happy about that. So like when I sit here and I talk about wins and losses, I'm not saying any loss is good. At the same time, it's all about time and momentum going into the playoffs. We don't want to go into the playoffs off of a loss. So we need to go ahead and gear up, get our minds right, because guess what? I felt like when St. Brown made that drop in the second and then fumbled that ball in the third, he gonna say it was probably lack of focus. He gonna say that. He's not gonna make an excuse. He's gonna say, you know what? It was me. It was mine. Jared made a good throw. It hit me on my fingertips. I should have had it. He makes that catch 99% of the time. The 1% that we needed him to have, and that's life at your fingertips. So, as for the MVP, I said that earlier. I was talking about, if Jared could improve his stock even with a loss, I would have to say yes, because he didn't turn the ball over. He said he set a record. He is first in. I appreciate that, AJ. First QB in history to throw 400 plus yards, 5 touchdown passes, and 0 interceptions in a loss. So that shows still even through adversity, the Lions still come out of this still looking as though they were always in that game. Even when they were down, they were in that game. Like I said, it was just a couple of different moments that made made this not a victorious day for the Lions. I still think that depending on what Saquon did today, and I think Lamar threw for 4 touchdowns or something like that. So, he's a 2-time MVP, league MVP. So I'm thinking that he will be looked at as this is what he does all the time, and it'll be like an MVP fatigue. So they're looking to give it to Josh Allen because he had a game today. It doesn't matter if the defense was good or bad or indifferent. It doesn't matter what they did. They had to get out there and stop him, and they did it. And he was the tail of the tape today with his legs at the beginning. And then also he had some players make plays for him. He had some receivers make plays. Cook ran real hard all day. They didn't turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying? The team that has the most turnovers. And you know what I'm saying? Buffalo's defense is plus 18 on turnovers or giveaways, or forced giveaways. Then they had Oliver in our backfield all day. You know what I'm saying? 9 rush passes, 2, 3 hurries. I mean, dang, he was in on both sacks. Like he He was a dog today. He was a dog today, a real dog today. And our offensive line was having problems with him all day, and he was just causing havoc. Fortunately, you know what I'm saying, Jared stayed, you know, cool, calm, and collected, and was able to dish out, you know, some pretty proficient numbers. They only ran the ball 7 times, like you say. I see that too. They only ran the ball 7 times in the second half. Jared threw over 50 times, I think. I'm pretty positive he threw for over 50 times. And you know, I'm not sure what his completion rating was, or you know or how many passes he completed and everything. But I like the way that Gibbs, you know, stepped it up. I love the little trick plays. You know, they still kept it exciting. You know, they still must watch TV. So I'm not really worried about it because, you know, going into the next couple of games, you know what I'm saying, they're going to meet up with a San Francisco team that I think is having some issues. And then, of course, we're going to finish the season out with Minnesota. And we've already beaten Minnesota. And that was on a Jay Bates 50-yard kick at the end of the game with 15 seconds left on the clock. So I'm looking forward to them getting back to their winning ways next week. I'm not thinking that they won't still win the NFC. And I do think that this was a nice Super Bowl preview. As long as Buffalo can go back to their winning ways in the playoffs, and I feel as though I still think that this is going to be a magical season for the Lions. I think that they're still going to make it and win the NFC conference and go on to the Super Bowl, the first one in almost 7 years. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody that's on here right now viewing me. Thank you for the support. I appreciate the follow. I'm still gonna say go Lions. And this is Cameron in the hot spot. I'll see you on the next rip. Like, subscribe to the channel, and also when I come on and I'm here, make sure you comment. I appreciate everybody. See you next time on the hot spot with Cameron.